Hate crimes against Jews on the streets of New York have reached frightening levels, while anti-Semitism in the UK and far-right white nationalism across Europe have reached the top levels of government. That makes today's annual Anti-Defamation League conference ground zero in the latest round of containment against the forces hell-bent on driving out Jews and oftentimes other minorities. I-24 News diplomatic correspondent Mike Wagenheim reports.
Thinkers and doers, politicians and preachers here gathering in New York City on Thursday at the annual Anti-Defamation League conference, talking about how to combat rising anti-Semitism, not only on the shores of Europe, but right here in America with recent stabbings and beatings of Jews here in New York City. We spoke with the head of the ADL, trying to figure out how to gather all of these thinkers, policies, platforms that are being discussed here today and mold them into some type of coherent plan to combat anti-Semitism.
I'm proud of the fact that we have a partnership with the USC Shoah Foundation to bring the lessons of the Holocaust to the next generation. I'm proud we're working with the Aspen Institute to train the next generation of leaders and to mitigate anti-Semitism or bigotry before it even happens. I'm proud of the work we're doing with the Western States Center to fight right-wing extremism. I'm proud of the work we do with Hillel to fight left-wing anti-Semitism on campuses. So the way that we will win this battle is not by doing it ourselves. The way that we win is by partnering with other best-of-class groups and using innovation.
Of course, anti-Semitism coming from all points on the political spectrum, not only among far-right white nationalists, but progressive Jews finding they're having trouble as well, finding their place within progressive circles. How to fix that problem?
We're here. We're standing up for criminal justice. We're here. We're marching, on the steps of the Supreme Court, supporting Dreamers and supporting TPS recipients. And we're doing it as Jews and as Zionists, and we're pushing back on the perspective that we're not a part of these fights, that we don't care. The way to fight anti-Semitism, we have to fight all of these hatreds. We have to fight them in an inclusive way that builds new partners and builds a more just country and a more just society. We can't fight anti-Semitism in a silo alone.
Of course, anti-Israel sentiment and anti-Semitism often tangled into one. Many blame the policies of current Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for inflaming anti-Semitism across the world. He's under indictment now, and perhaps a more progressive candidate of sorts in Benny Gantz could take over, theoretically, as prime minister down the road. But would that actually fix the problem of people using anti-Israel sentiment as a front for their own anti-Semitism?
To the extent that Netanyahu has, personally, through things that he obviously felt were the right calls policy-wise for Israel, harmed Israel's image abroad. If he leaves, then those people will give a fresh look to whoever the next person is. That being said, there are very fundamental debates and policy disputes over Israel that aren't going to go away just because you change who's in charge.
Of all the ways to combat anti-Semitism, comedy, one of them. Comedian Sacha Baron Cohen of Borat and the Israeli Spy fame to receive an award here today for using his comedy to combat anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic thought around the globe. Reporting from the ADL annual conference in New York City, Mike Wagenheim, I-24 News.